Good morning. It's election season. SGA elections are just a few days away, and it's a special morning around here as all three slates are live with us presenting their platform points.
And cold-hearted, it might be Valentine's Day, but the temps are not heating up. Our weather team has your weekend outlook. Get the coffee ready and open up those eyes. You're waking up with a special edition of Cardinal Weather.
From Ball State Unified Media, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather with Tyler, Annie, and Nathan live from the Ball State Weather Center.
Good Friday morning, everyone. It's 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for being here with us for a special edition of Waking Up with Cardinal Weather. We've got the three SGA slates here with us this morning. I'm Tyler Brummett. Thank you so much for being here with us.
And I'm Annie Keiser. Good morning. Not only that, but happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Super excited for everything we got going on this morning. Of course, these slates, we're going to hear a little bit more from them, what they plan on doing this point going forward, and also hope to have a little fun with them this morning.
Yeah.
We got a couple fun things
We
planned.
love our three SGA slates. Kind of talking about the weather. Was it cold when you guys came in? It's what, like I think 5 degrees out there. It might be even worse than that. So as we kind of walk this way, right now, of course, that weather, like we said, very cold. It really has not been fun out there. I know my hands were cold as we bring Nathan Gidley into this. He's a bit taller than us, in case you didn't know. So cold, cold, cold. What's the temperature out there right now?
4 degrees.
4 degrees. Not a big fan of it. So are we going to be seeing a warm-up?
Not today, but certainly as we head into next week, it warms up in a big way next week. I'm going to have all those details coming up here on the wall as we transition in the different space here. While we are, I like that headline, cold-hearted. There's no cold hearts in here. It's all love, right, you know? So how you guys doing this morning? You see me walking over to the wall, checking your local weather. It's a fun times in here in the studio this morning, but not fun times outside. It's actually dropped to 3 degrees here in Muncie. Negative temperatures in Marion, -4, -3 in Kokomo. But we factor in the wind out there as well. Feels like -10 across much of the area. This is across Indiana as well. -11 Indianapolis, -18 in Kokomo, -21 over in Champaign. That's a result of this huge area of Arctic air that's been spilling in from our north and west, causing these very cold temperatures this morning. Now the radar, though, it's going to be cleared out there today, so that's the good news for your Valentine's Day. So coming up later on in the show, I'm going to time out the Valentine's Day forecast, as well as when those warm temperatures are going to be on the return. All those details coming up a little bit later on in the show.
And we will continue to keep you updated on that weather. Thank you, Nathan. Now diving into a little bit of news. Minnesotans woke up Thursday to the coldest morning of the season with wind chill factors dipping dangerously into the negative double digits. Hours before sunrise, air temperatures across the state were below zero and wind chill factors were between 25 and 45 below. Yikes. With the coldest wind chills in the western and northern Minnesota areas, in such cold, frostbite can set in on exposed skin in just minutes. In response to the Arctic blast, schools across the state delayed or canceled classes.
At 8:03 now, also this morning, we're learning our planet just had its hottest January on record. Wow, it's the latest in a string of climate records set in recent years. NOAA reports the 4 hottest Januaries have been in the last 4 years. Record high temperatures were seen in Scandinavia as well as Asia and Central and South America. In fact, there were no record cold temperatures in January reported anywhere in the world. There was less polar ice and snow than normal for the month in the northern hemisphere. The temperatures were 2.7 degrees above normal.
And the devastating campfires in California may have been more tragic than reported. At least one lawyer says the fire killed more people than officials say. Brandy Cummings reports.
These are images that many will never forget. Fire destroyed paradise. The official death toll, 85. But Chico attorney and campfire survivor Joe Early says that number is much higher.
I would bet everything that there's a lot more.
He represents thousands of families impacted by the campfire. 19 of his clients have filed wrongful death claims against PG&E, but their loved ones aren't included in the official death toll. That's because they say their deaths are indirectly related.
Most of them had some kind of complicated medical conditions, requiring medications, requiring some kind of care, oxygen or whatever, and they had never really been without it, and then they evacuate, in this circumstance. They don't have their medications, they're taken to places where conditions are very suboptimal, and it just sends them onto a downward spiral.
Early explained it's important that PG&E understands the consequences of their actions.
They need to know that they're killing more people than are being accounted for. That's, and again, for the future, don't do that again. Do your repairs. Make sure that safety is your number one priority, because it's really bad. The consequences are really bad. And I think this helps to illustrate that.
It's unlikely that the official death toll will rise. Early says there's no incentive to research and evaluate medical records to make that determination. So the fact is, the true impact of the Camp Fire may never be realized.
We'll absolutely never know how many people died indirectly, like these 20 families that we're representing. We'll never, ever know that.
Just absolute devastation there. Again, that was Brandy Cummings reporting. Meanwhile, 12 homes were evacuated because of a major landslide in Pennsylvania Tuesday. Heavy rains washed out a road in Washington County, leaving several residents stranded. Some people, well, they blame nearby construction on Interstate 70, but the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation says it's because the ground has been oversaturated with rain. The good news in all of this, no one was injured, and it's not sure as far as how long it's going to take to repair the landslide damage. Fortunately, like I said, nobody was injured, and all of the school buses can't use the road, so parents are having to make other arrangements.
And then I couldn't get back out.
PennDOT has joined other local crews to try to get the repairs done as quickly as possible. We'll keep you posted. And just ahead, we're going to be meeting the SGA slates. Of course, we can kind of hear them behind us. You guys having fun back there? So they're having a lot of fun, as you can tell. So we're going to be meeting Alliance coming up in just a bit. They're going to be doing the weather for us.
Absolutely. That's after your weather now.
.08 on your Friday morning. Live look right now at the Johnson Complex. As you can see, a bit snowy out there, and I know we've been dealing with some ice as well. And when it comes to that weather, Annie, Nathan just told us it's 3, not 4, but
colder.
3 degrees, so it has dropped 1 degree since we started here. But you know what? We've got to check if that weather, not just with Nathan, but he's got some special guests. Nathan, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. We're going to bring some friends in here. Come on in, y'all. Yeah, let's try out some team weather here. Yeah, don't be shy, don't be shy. Come on in, there's plenty of space. So, yeah, Kokomo. Yeah, it's very chilly here this morning. Want me to pass the clicker off to you guys? Yeah. So just that middle button right there is the play button. So that'll advance through some of the graphics here. So yeah, go ahead, give it a shot, guys. You know.
Okay, so as you see here, Anderson's 1 degrees, and up north we got Kokomo and a -4 degrees. I got some wind chills going on. Where the wind chills at? As you see currently, a little by James here, we have Muncie is around 3 degrees.
Fort Wayne up higher though is about 6 degrees, so they got a little lucky there.
Warm spot up there.
Champagne, yeah. And the 24-hour temperature.
Yeah, now this is a cool graphic, guys. This is telling the temperature of what it was 24 hours ago. Look how much colder it is this morning.
Wow. That is outstanding. Yeah. I want you guys to take a look at Muncie right there. It's a -29 degrees difference. That is crazy. And almost 2 weeks ago. Almost 2 weeks ago, it was almost 60 degrees in Muncie. That's what's
Yeah, it's been a crazy winter for sure. Yeah, let's keep it going. We got some, oh man, these are the wind chills across the whole state. Oh, that's what it feels like outside. Oh, that's brutal.
When I tried to turn on my car this morning. Low type.
Yeah, turn on that heat.
Frozen doors.
Yeah, now let's go on to the next one. This is a cool one here. This is talking about some ways to protect yourself from these bitter cold temperatures. So, you guys want to talk about this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. James.
So make sure that you're wearing some extra insulated layers, hats, gloves, mitts. Covering your mouth, definitely important. Frostbite can be an issue with the colder temperatures, especially around your nose, your fingers. So just try to stay warm with as many extra layers as you can.
Hey, that's fantastic. Great job. All right. Yeah, so before we go on, you guys want to talk about your slate a little bit too?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are Alliance.
We're Alliance.
Yeah.
I'll get a little closer so we can hear you.
Yeah, we're Alliance. We aim to be an allied voice. We want to hear the concerns and needs of the students before we make, any, suggestions as to what we're going to do for the student body. We think it's important that we, hear them out first and then, come together and strategize and make those solutions happen.
Yeah, fantastic. So get out and support these guys even though it's quite chilly out there. We got all the slates here today supporting the student government here at Ball State. So
yeah, you don't even have to leave your room to vote. So
yeah, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. So I'm going to step off again if you guys want to have a little bit more fun before we go to break. We'll start to wrap it up here pretty soon, though. Let's go to one more graphic. Why not? Oh, this is advancing the wind chill. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I don't even know what. Okay, so we have 16 degrees here in Muncie. Wait, is that going to be tonight?
Yeah, that's going to be tonight. Yeah.
16 degrees tonight in Muncie, 16 degrees in Anderson as well.
We're going to have to wrap things up here. But yeah, thanks guys for coming on over here. This was fun. So we're going to send it back over to Tyler and Annie at the desk. Anytime you guys want to do weather, let me know. You're always welcome onto the team. So back to you guys at the desk.
Certainly some less than satisfactory temperatures over there.
Yeah,
but
and I think Nathan's got some competition when it comes to his job.
yeah, shout out to Alliance this morning
Yeah.
for coming in and helping us out with that weather. We're going to turn it over now to Natasha Leland for a look at some of those health stories.
Good morning, guys. A polio-like virus has been increasingly affecting children. Acute flaccid myelitis, or AFM, has had cases increasing every 2 years. Mandy Gaither has a story.
Today, the tragedy of paralytic polio can be prevented.
This public service announcement from the 1950s helped make people aware of polio, which once plagued the world. While polio still exists today, cases have decreased by more than 99% since 1988, according to the World Health Organization. Now, a polio-type illness has left a number of children paralyzed and has been peaking every other year since 2014. If the pattern holds, 2020 could be another peak year. Doctors say most of the patients with AFM had a mild respiratory illness or fever consistent with a viral infection before they developed AFM. Viral infections, such as from enteroviruses, are common, especially in children, and most people recover. The CDC isn't yet sure why a small number of people develop AFM while most others recover. But researchers say the differences offer clues to different causes behind AFM, which they hope will lead to new treatment and prevention strategies. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Attention golf lovers, this news is on par. A new study finds that golfing may help adults 65 and older live longer. Preliminary research found that adults could lower the risk of premature death if they played at least once a month. The American Stroke Association will present more findings at a conference in LA later this month. Nearly 25 million Americans play golf according to the National Golf Foundation, so if you're not a golfer, you may want to consider grabbing a club. Life is full of failures, but should a grocery store be one? Many big U.S. grocery store chains are receiving failing grades on their 2020 recall report cards. The U.S. Public Interest Research Group examined 26 of the country's largest chains. 84% failed to effectively inform the public on recall notification efforts, including where to find the information. No store earned an A or B. However, a few chains, such as Target and Kroger, passed with a C. The authors say the study say consumers need to know about recalls to safeguard their health. Now their findings have left them concerned.
All right, interesting stuff there. Natasha, thank you so much. Let's go ahead now and turn to your weather history So if we think it's bad right now, let's just talk about this right here. Heavy snow was recorded 13 years ago in central Indiana from February 12th to the 14th. A strong low pressure system tracked south of the Ohio River across into Kentucky. Indianapolis recorded snow for 30 consecutive hours. Blowing snow created treacherous travel conditions. Many cities also received over a foot of snow, with Muncie receiving almost a foot with 11 inches. So again, kind of grateful actually for this weather because it could be worse. But I know, Nathan, you said it's 3 degrees. I'm not liking it. I know I had to scrape off my car windshield this morning, so hopefully we can get some better weather in the next few days. What can you tell us?
Oh man, we made it feel so much colder in here seeing that golf story. Oh man, I'm ready for summer now. But yeah, it's still cold, dangerous cold out here this morning. Again, still seeing 3 degrees here in Muncie, 6 up in Fort Wayne, 2 degrees there in the Circle City. A lot of areas seeing temperatures below 0 as well. Just unbelievable 24-hour temperature change from where we were yesterday. Feels like 29 degrees colder here in Muncie, 29 in Indianapolis, and 33 degrees colder in Kokomo. You factor in the wind out there as well. These are some dangerous wind chill, folks, here. Minus 10 degrees is what it feels like. Minus 18 in Kokomo. Minus 11 in Indianapolis. So again, as we touched on this graphic earlier with the slates, certainly be careful outside. Wear plenty of layers. Protect yourself from this cold and from frostbite and hypothermia as well. So we're going to track out the wind chills here over the next couple of hours. You'll see the wind chills start to become a little bit less of a factor by the time we get to the evening hours today. And as we head into the day tomorrow, we're going to see the wind chill start to die down, but still seeing single digits, still quite chilly overall compared to where we should be in the wind chill department for this time of the year. Now for temperatures, we start to see a little bit of a warm up today, not all that much though, only getting to 16, really still staying in the teens throughout the day today. But there is some good news here I'm tracking in just a moment with some sunshine a little bit later on in the day as well. So we're seeing temperatures as we head into Saturday there, still seeing temperatures very chilly, but we start to warm up though compared to where we are today, seeing temperatures rising back to around that freezing mark. So again, here's the radar, seeing a little bit of lake effect snow just continuing off to our north. But again, that's leading to some clear skies as high pressure works into the area. So while it will be cold for your Valentine's Day plans, good news is it's going to be some sunshine out there today. As we transition to Saturday, though, we're going to see some clouds start to move in as we are tracking a weather system heading into next week, which we'll have the details on in our 7-day forecast coming up at the end of the forecast here. But for your Valentine's Day, really a nice day overall. 17 degrees, cold though, but those sunny skies are going to feel really nice today. But we'll see those increasing clouds for your Saturday, 33 degrees, that temperature. Breezy for your Saturday as well. Winds out of the southwest at 15 to 25 miles an hour. And into your day on Sunday, you're going to see those clouds continuing with winds calming down though out of the west at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now here over the next couple of days as we head into next week, going to see really seasonable conditions expected, despite the fact we're going to see a bigger warm-up as we head into the early portions of next week. So if you want the warm spot on the map, though, look no farther to Florida, as Joseph's going to have some more details on that coming up in national weather. But here on the mid 7-day forecast, get through the cold today. We slowly start to warm up here, but we see clouds on the increase all the way up to 40 by Sunday. And look in the next week here. Wow, 46 on Monday, 52 for Tuesday. Man, it's just a roller coaster ride in the temperature department. With these warm temperatures, going to see some rain, especially Monday night into Tuesday, but temperatures return to more seasonal levels by the end of the week. So be careful, and keep protecting yourself from the cold out there.
Well, and can I just say I'm happy that we're not going to be dealing with those colder temperatures, at least not as cold as what we're dealing with now. At least we're going to be in the double digits.
I'm not sure what your definition of cold is. This is pretty cold to me, but not my ideal Valentine's Day forecast, but I guess we will certainly make the most of it. Now, in just a moment, I'm in the kitchen with Bold, and we're making a little breakfast.
Yeah, plus we're celebrating Valentine's Day. I'm going to be making some Valentine's Day cards with SGA Slate Orem. That's all after a message from it. Stay with us.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, MITS will take you there.
All right, welcome back. The current time is 8:20, and you are taking a chilly live look at the Death Pond this morning. We're going to go ahead and bring it back here in the studio. I am with SGA Slate Bold. We're going to work on a little breakfast this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
All right, so we don't really have exact measurements this morning. Not super important. We're just going to go with it, okay?
Yeah.
We've got that going. I don't know who wants to take their best guess at what 2 cups is here. I'll go ahead and let you do that.
You got it.
We can try.
So while we work on this, I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions this morning.
Yeah, of
So what are kind of your big points going into this election?
So I think, all of our points are equally important, but there are some larger points that draws more attention to our slate. I think those are our diversity points, and I also think that our heated bus station point is also a heavy hitter.
Do you want to go in a little in depth with the heated bus station?
Yeah, I'd be happy to talk about that. So we're still exploring this idea, but it's really important that students on campus aren't freezing. We see.
I'll agree with you on that. All right.
Especially today.
So we see that shelters, at the north and south end of campus are closed in and they're heated and they're very popular. However, all along McKinley, students have to wait, sometimes inside of a building for their bus. And unfortunately, this is just disadvantageous for all the students. So it's also really important too that we explore as much as we can here. And what we're really looking into right now is heated lamps that have a large radius. And this would just minimize energy saving costs, and additionally be very affordable for the university. So it's something that we surely hope to accomplish.
Yeah, it's super interesting. You have any other major points that you are just grinding out through this election season?
One thing that I know that I'm really passionate about is increasing awareness and building up that relationship for safe zone training. So have you ever taken safe zone training before?
I have not, no.
So safe zone training is a way for students to learn more about the LGBTQ+ community and how to be more welcoming and understanding of that community. I took it my freshman year, and it was pretty good. And then I retook it a couple weeks ago, and the curriculum was completely different, but I thought it was just incredible and new information. We even learned about different gender identities throughout history and throughout different countries in the world. And so for me, that kind of hit home. I thought that this.
Yeah, I'm going to cut you off. I think we got the professional in here.
Yes,
Looks like Gina's going to take over for a little bit if you want to continue.
Thanks. And so that was something that I thought was very important to make sure that we could complete and make sure that we support that community. Because during the elections, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll help you out.
Okay, there we go. Because during the elections, a lot of times there can be some tokenization of the LGBTQ+ community. We wanted to make sure that didn't happen. We were able to support them, and so we've been working with the Spectrum president, Eli Lucas, and with the Counseling Center director, Dr. Bill Betts, to make sure that we can make something like this happen available for all organizations on campus. So currently, the Counseling Center and the Spectrum Club are working together to create an hour-and-a-half long session where organizations can request to be safe zone to be safe zone certified. Now, the safe zone certification is still being hashed out because a lot of times the program is originally 4 hours long. In this program, they're building as an hour-and-a-half. So they're working out if they can be even certified. But that's something where we want student government to step in and help them and offer our support and offer any type of way to help promote or bring awareness to this thing, because it's important to make sure that all students are welcomed here on campus and feel safe. And it's good for students who don't identify it as a part of that community to also be more welcoming to them.
All right, awesome. I've got one last question. What do you call this?
Syrup.
My most important question. Syrup?
Syrup.
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 You said?
Syrup.
Where are you from?
I'm from Zionsville.
I'm going to have to disagree with you. This is a nice big old thing of syrup.
Syrup.
So we're going to let this keep on cooking. We're going to go ahead and take another check at that weather, and we're going to send it over to you, Joseph Williams.
All right, thank you, Annie. Thank you for back. Thank you so much for inviting. Yeah, Valentine's Day is not looking so hot for today because of all the cool temperatures we've been seeing. The NWS has been issuing some warnings across much of the United States. For example, we do have some river flooding warnings down in the south, but more importantly, we have wind chill advisories across the Great Plains stretching from North Dakota all the way to St. Louis and Chicago, and I'll get to explaining why we are seeing those wind chill advisories in a moment. But first, looking at radar, it's looking mostly clear, aside from some areas of snow flurries seen across the United States. For example, we got some snow flurries up in Lake Michigan, near Michigan, and also in the Pacific Northwest, there's some snow flurries and rain showers that are moving in, dumping rain across parts of Interstate 5. So if you happen to be driving around right now, hopefully you're making sure to take those into consideration. And you're going to have to keep those snow showers and rain showers into consideration over the next few hours, because we're going to see another bout of moisture coming in around Saturday morning, dumping in some rain and snow across Cascade Mountains and Interstate 5, with snow by around 7:30 a.m. By 5 p.m., you're going to see more snow showers impacting Oregon. So definitely make sure that if you're driving on Interstate 5 that you're keeping those snow showers in mind. The other major story is wind chills. They feel like really cold in the negatives across much of the Great Plains. For example, -26 in Minneapolis and -11 in Muncie. So those wind chills, basically it's a combination of like cold temperatures and wind gusts that make those temperatures feel cold. And the reason it feels cold is that we've been seeing this blast of Arctic air coming from the north thanks to the dip in the jet stream, which basically is the highway of winds that separates the warm temperatures of the south from the cold temperatures of the north. But notice over the next few hours, that jet stream begins to balance itself out and straighten out, allowing for more warm air to permeate Indiana, and then it will begin straightening out again by around Sunday morning. So you might see some cold temperatures there, but at least it won't be as cold as it is today. So in summary, you're just going to have to deal with the cold temperatures for today. 25 in Cincinnati, 18 in Minneapolis, 27 in Kansas City for today's highs, but at least it's going to be warm across the rest of the United States. Back to you, Ty.
Yeah, hey there, Joseph. Good morning. So we're having some fun this morning right now as I'm with Orem, as we are actually going to be making some Valentine's Day cards. Happy Valentine's Day to you guys. I know there are students out there that love you guys as well as the other slates. So before we get into making these Valentine's Day cards, how about we talk about some of your guys' platform points? I know you guys have been vocal about talking about your experience in SGA so far.
Yeah, so definitely our experience is going to give us this really good head start on our platform points. We're going to have a good amount of them already done by our first month in office. We're really excited. One of the ones that we're really excited for is the LGBTQ plus scholarship that we want to establish here on campus. We feel like we can really benefit the LGBTQ plus community by instituting this scholarship, and we've already gotten a lot of good feedback as far as getting that done.
Yeah, so as we transition now kind of talking about Valentine's Day, do you guys know how to make Valentine's Day cards? Because I don't.
Yes, I'm a bit of a Valentine's Day card master, if you say.
Oh.
Yes.
I don't know if you'll have any competition with Miriam here, because I know she was telling me about how she is really good at origami. Is that right?
I used to do origami. Oh my gosh. Yes.
See, I typically do the simple where you fold it in half and then just try to cut the heart, and then typically the heart just looks a little messed up. Okay. Because if you go around.
It's original, you know, that's what we appreciate here.
See, something kind of like this, except it probably should be bigger, I'm sure. So, what you got going here?
I'll do what I can. Hold on.
See, yours already looks better than mine, just putting that out there.
There you go. Looks good. Yeah.
And by the way, can I also mention we neglected to bring pens and markers over here. So if you want to write a special little message, we kind of can't do that. Hopefully you guys, if you guys get elected, you're able to accomplish a lot more than what we're able to as far as putting messages. But speaking of messages, what are you guys hoping to accomplish if you guys do end up getting elected?
So, I mean, I'm going to let some of my slate members kind of talk to this point too, but we've done a really good job in Senate of making sure that we're accurately representing students' needs and wants and making sure that they feel heard. And I feel like that's definitely something that we're going to still strive for. We're going to make sure that we're also advertising that SGA is a very valuable resource to students. So, yeah, I don't know if any of you guys have anything else to say.
Well, like through a lot of conversations we've had with different student leaders from students at different organizations all across campus, we really learned that there's a lot more that SGA can do for students. And even like as individuals, we learned that not every organization knows how to reserve a room for themselves or make sure that they have the proper resources that would make them the most successful. So really, if any way that we could help any organization would be just phenomenal for us.
Yeah, and I know talking from the three slates, you guys all kind of have a common goal of trying to get the word out there about SGA, because as we looked at the debates, I know a lot of you guys were kind of talking about how you were disappointed in the attendance as far as students out there.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important just having three slates again this year. We're really excited to hope that there's more voters just overall over Monday and Tuesday. We want to try to get more students involved in the elections.
Yeah, and can I just mention, this is probably the best heart I've ever seen. It's blue, kind of like that weather out there. If people want to find you on social media, where can they find you?
So we have Instagram and Twitter. It's Orem 2020. So yeah, find us, follow us.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, Orem, thank you guys so much. Elections are going to be taking place on Monday and Tuesday. Voting begins Monday at 8 o'clock. It'll close Tuesday at 5. On our sister show, Newslink Indiana, we'll have the results as they are going to be coming out around 5:30. All right, we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this with an intense competition. We thought that the debates were intense. I think it's about to get real. We're going to have a relay race right after this. Stay with us.
Woohoo!
From the heart of Ball State to the heart of your community, Newslink Indiana brings you local and state news you care about. We pride ourselves with giving you the most reliable news coverage, stories that affect you, linking you to the community each night on air and online. Newslink Indiana, bringing news to the heart of your community.
Welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about fronts, and fronts are boundaries separating two air masses. And I thought this would be a great topic to talk about today, as we are currently experiencing a winter storm system brought to us by a cold front, which is right here. And a cold front is where cold air is advancing into an area, and cold fronts typically move at about 30 miles per hour, and showers as well as storms, such as the winter storm system we're currently experiencing, are brought to us by cold fronts. But behind this system is a warm front that's going to move through the area, and warm fronts bring about rain. That long, steady rain that we're going to be experiencing coming into this weekend is going to be brought to us by that warm system moving through. Warm fronts bring in that warm air, and cold air is going to leave, as well as warm fronts typically move at about a slower pace than cold fronts do. They move at around 15 miles per hour. And our other two types of fronts, stationary fronts and occluded fronts, include a combination of both cold fronts and warm fronts. A stationary front is where your cold air isn't moving very much, and stationary fronts typically move a lot slower than warm and cold fronts do. Stationary fronts move at about 7 miles per hour, and that flooding as well as snow and rain, multi-day snow and rain, is going to be brought to us by that stationary front. And our final front is an occluded front. An occluded front is where cold air is going to overtake that warm air, so that cold front's going to move in, causing that warm front to be sucked into that cold front, so it's going to overtake it. And the weather as well as the speed of those fronts typically varies, but that's what we can expect for occluded fronts. And to recap real quick, fronts are a boundary separating two types of air masses, and each type of front brings about a different weather phenomena. And now I'm going to toss it back to Tyler and Annie.
All right, Morgan, thank you so much. And by the way, can I just say out here, we're having a lot of fun right now, and I think it's about to get real as we've got the presidents from each slate. They're about to go head-to-head in a relay here. Annie, if you want to go ahead and go down
I didn't even
the
tell them that had to
line.
be in their mouth, so I'm assuming they're pretty excited.
Yeah, fair warning, this could be a complete disaster. I don't know how this is going to go. So here are the rules. We've got the three presidential candidates, Connor Sanborn, Eric Fulton, as well as Miriam Bevel, and they're going to come all the way down here. The first person to cross this line back here will be the winner of this relay race. But again, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Hopefully nobody drops an egg, but it's very possible that that'll happen, and we promise we will clean it up right after the show. All right, are you guys ready? Yeah. Set, go! Oh, no! Oh, we made a mess over here!
That's my egg right here. Wait, he won!
Okay,
oh,
all right, very nice.
For the record, it did fall, but I caught it, so then I put it back.
Does that count? Do we want to do one more round?
Okay.
Let's do one more. We've got plenty of eggs.
I can't do this
If you guys want to choose someone from your slate,
I'm taking my keep on going.
this was an excellent idea, just putting that out there.
You got your spin?
The yoke is on all of you.
Okay, are we doing it again then?
Yeah, if we want to do one more. Just try not. Yeah, we can try to do that. We're trying to figure this out. All right, you guys ready? Orem, do you guys have? Oh, there we go. All right, round 2. Ready, set, go.
Oh no. It looks like
Eric's
gold
just like, I'm
is
done.
2 for 2.
All right, I don't know who won, but it's a lot of fun.
Gold won. We saw gold won. No worries, we got it.
No worries.
Connor's claiming victory. If we want to bring Nathan Gidley back in here, one final check of local weather. It's cold. We don't like it.
I don't know if you can hear me, but it's going to be cold. It's going to warm up next week. Be safe out there with the cold temperatures. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was so much fun. Thank you so much to all of the SGA slates for coming in. Thank you guys so much. You guys are all incredible. Again, students, get out and vote Monday and Tuesday. Voting opens 8 a.m. Monday, closes at 5 p.m. Tuesday. The results, we will have them on our sister show, Newslink Indiana, Monday night at 9 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a nice weekend.